Hey, you! Before you watch this, pause the video and subscribe to SemiPro right now.
What's going on YouTube? Bradley Beal and his merry band of misfits back with another video, and today we're talking about Bradley Beal and his merry band of misfits that go under the notion of the Washington Wizards. The Wizards were given a gift dropped down from the heavens by a godlike man named Adam Silver. Washington has an outside chance of making the playoffs, but a significantly higher one now that the season has been reintroduced under the new format. The Wizards are currently 5.5 games behind the Magic and 6 games back of the Nets. They have to get within 4 games in order to force a 2-game playoff in which they need to win both games. And yes, that's going to be a long shot in it of itself to even make the playoffs. But they still have a chance and still have a roster, even though that roster is really not that good. This team sucks at defense. They give up the second most points per game in the entire NBA and have one of the worst point differentials as well. The team is essentially just Bradley Beal. He averages 30 points and 6 assists per game, and he's in the top 20 in the NBA in offensive win shares, PER, and assists, and top 15 in three-pointers, turnovers, and offensive box plus minus, top 10 in two-pointers, free throws made, and free throws attempted, and top 5 in field goals, field goal attempts, total points, points per game, minutes per game, and usage percentage. Have I been talking for a while? It feels like I've been talking for a while. I think I should take a break. Essentially, Beal is going to have to top 40 points every game if the Wizards want to win against any of these good teams, because the Wizards suck against good teams with a 6-18 record against rosters above 500. But even though they aren't very important, there are still other players on this team. The second option is dopest Bertans? You've got to be shitting me. Bertans has served as a sixth man off the bench and the main scorer in the second unit, proving as a stretch 4, shooting 42% from 3 while attempting 9 threes a game, averaging 15 points per game alongside Ish Smith. Outside of Beal, Smith is the leading assist man and averages 11 points per game. There really isn't much else to him. He's a facilitator that isn't inherently ball dominant. And then there's Rui Hachimura, who is who the team wants to be the second option because he's a rookie and Washington wants him to develop, but he's been relatively underwhelming his rookie year. He averages 13 points per game despite attempting the third most field goals on the team, and he can't stretch the floor and doesn't play great defense. But he is efficient inside the three-point arc, especially directly around the basket, and has the athleticism and size, being 6'8", 230, that as a wing/stretch 4, he's fast enough to beat bigs and strong enough to beat opposing guards. The potential is there, but he just hasn't completely translated himself to the NBA game just yet, and I doubt he made the jump in quarantine. But the potential is certainly there. I just don't buy it quite yet. Then there's Troy Brown. Go Ducks. He's the best defensive player on the team, at least according to the advanced metrics, and he's decently well-rounded as an offensive player as well. He can knock down a shot if need be, making him the closest thing to a 3-and-D that Washington has. The Wizards acquired Shabazz Napier, and he hasn't played many games for the team, only appearing in 15 games, averaging 12 points and 4.5 assists per game. But he was acquired to replace Isaiah Thomas, but he doesn't bring the same scoring ability that Thomas did, and I wonder if the offensive drop-off between Thomas and Napier is going to be a detriment to this team. The bigs are Thomas Bryant and Ian Mahinmi. Bryant averages 12 and 7 and has the third highest win shares on the team, and Mahinmi averages 7 and 6 with the highest defensive win shares from any big on the team. But the biggest X factor on this roster is Isaac Bonga. Bonga only averages 4.6 points per game, but you have to take a deeper dive into the stats. On the surface, you might wonder why Bonga is a regular starter. He's one of the only players as part of the regular rotation that doesn't have a negative defensive box plus minus, And if you look at the Wizards plus minus while Bonga's on the floor compared to why he isn't, the team is 10 points higher, meaning that the Wizards score 10 more points compared to their average lineup per game with Bonga when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. I don't know why he ever steps off the floor. There are a few more pieces to this Wizards team, but they probably won't play a significant part in this team's playoff push. Because, as I've stated earlier, this is Bradley Beal's team. The team will live and die with Beal, and everyone else doesn't really matter because they're all pretty damn bad and have somehow stumbled ass backwards into a playoff opportunity.